A bill that would provide free school breakfast to all Minnesota students did fail in the 2014 legislative session. But all kindergartners will have free breakfast beginning in the fall as a part of a $4 million appropriation that was included in the Education Finance Bill. Governor Mark Dayton joined this group of school officials and lawmakers to serve up breakfast to students at Morris By Elementary in Coon Rapids.
We service 207 students in the morning for breakfast here at Morris By Elementary. We have a grab-and-go program. The students are able to come through the line and go to their classrooms and have a community breakfast in their classroom with their morning meeting. It's a great opportunity to build relationships for our teachers with the students. So we know breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and it's great next year that we're going to have it for our kindergartners, as well as hopefully in the next 2 years for all of our students across the state of Minnesota. Students come into our building at 9:15. They get in line, they have a paper boat where they have their choices for breakfast, and they head to their classroom. And the students know, as well as the teachers, that this is their time in the morning to eat breakfast and to be able to have a morning meeting where they discuss, they either do a calendar math, discussing how did your evening go, how are you doing, that relationship building piece and how important that is for our teachers and students to be able to have a community of learners and a strong success in student achievement.
It's so important, and I was reminded of that I taught in New York City 2 years after college, and a lot of my kids came to school with no breakfast and 25 cents in their pocket for French fries for lunch. Back 40 years ago, French fries only cost 25 cents a carton, but the point was that they, had a hard time tracking and paying attention because they were malnourished. So this is so important, and I will totally support with Senator Johnson, Representative Newton, and Commissioner Cassellius is also championing this. I'll totally support full funding for all elementary school children next year, and then we'll move on from there because it really is vitally important.
Senator Alice Johnson carried the legislation that would have funded an expanded free breakfast program.
My initiative partially got funded because we took care of kindergarten. I requested for grades K through 5, but there wasn't enough money available, it seemed like, and so we just went with kindergarten. It's great. It's a great start, and I think the governor made it very clear today in the press conference that he has good intentions and is likely to see us have breakfast for at least all of the elementary schools next year.
And you brought up the junior high level children, middle school level children. How important is it to you to move forward with free breakfast for every student at some point, or are you content with elementary?
I'm not content with only elementary. My goal has been since 1993, my goal has been to have free breakfast for everyone in this state, in the schools, because I think it's so cheap. It's such a low cost for what we get out of it. The kids are going to be in school more. They even come to school because the food is there, and they don't want to be singled out as saying, "Oh, my family doesn't have very high incomes, therefore we have to eat breakfast in the cafeteria by ourselves while the other kids are in the classroom." No, we don't want to do that. We want to erase that stigma.
Senator, accessibility is one thing, but getting kids to participate can be another, and getting them to eat what's placed in front of them is another issue. Are there any accountability measures built into this program thus far to make sure that kids are indeed eating what's being presented?
Interesting that you mentioned that, because I asked one of the kitchen staff today what about waste, and she said, well, right now we don't see what the waste is, that the building janitors would probably be the ones that could tell you, because the kids are now in their classrooms eating. But I think
is it something that you think is important to track?
I think it's important, but I think they do that. If they find out that the kids aren't taking certain products, if they're finding them in the garbage, I think the school staff, the nutrition people, know what is important, and it is to get good, healthy food into children's bodies. If you have good, healthy food and nobody eats it, it doesn't count.
So my last question for you then, Senator. It is the interim, but session is 6 months away now, 6 months away. Are you working actively on crafting legislation at this point, or will you wait a while? Will you carry it next year?
Oh, I will be definitely, we will have a bill in for probably free breakfast for all, because that's where it will start. That will give us the opportunity to talk about the value of it throughout high school even too. But also the federal program that's being put into place. I think working with the federal program that's encouraging free breakfast for all schools, especially if they have a high population of low-income people. I think with that we'll find enough money to do it.